I am going on tirzepatide. Most guys that cut to this body fat naturally, their T levels fall below 400.
Cut to this naturally. Is he in fact natural if he uses tirzepatide and or Ozempic? The answer is technically. Are you with me? Do you get this? Coach Greg, in today's video, Greg O'Gallagher has succumbed to the GLPs.
We're going to discuss why I am going on tirzepatide.
Everyone knows Greg O'Gallagher, guy who's natural, very lean, understands his body, the science of losing weight, but even Greg himself, no, not talking about myself, needs to take a GLP.
The first few days, I just felt more full. And sometimes I feel a little bit more like chill after eating because it felt like I ate more calories. But then after that, those few days just felt completely exactly the same.
The guy with the movie star physique. Here's the thing. What chance do you have? You're watching Coach Greg videos. You've purchased my cookbook. You've got the Turk. You're on the GO2 Max. You're doing your cardio and you're thinking, I want to have single-digit body fat. The problem is, almost all of your bodies are not designed to be that lean. 170 and pumped on a little Tirzeppi and Mog stack. And so, Greg O'Gallagher, he looks to be in competition shape, but he's still dieting. He's not even competing. He just diets to diet. He's always single-digit body fat, but that's not lean enough. He has to get even leaner. He's trying to mog. 168.5 pounds, no pump, did blood work, will share results when they come in. And so he's peeled, but he's 168.5 pounds. Now, the first thing you need to realize is, does anyone think you need to be 200 pounds to mog? Greg O'Gallagher, he's not short. He's perhaps 5'9", 5'10", and he's not even 170 pounds, but yet he looks this good.
This is the condition I'm in at 168.5 pounds. So most guys that cut to this body fat naturally, their T levels fall below 400.
The first thing that he says is up for the debate. Cut to this naturally. Is he in fact natural if he uses tirzepatide and or Ozempic? The answer is technically yes. It isn't banned by WADA, and so if you want to get shredded and you want an easier time than last time, remember he's using tirzepatide. It's legal, it's doctor prescribed. It's made for people who are obese, not that he's obese, but you can do whatever you want. It's not illegal. And so remember, if you're looking for a quality source and you're not looking for shady compounds from some research chemical site where you don't know what you're actually getting, if you want to know that it's actually pharmaceutical, doctor prescribed, from a compounding pharmacy, and it's at a very cheap price, you go to Algorex. Remember, they don't just sell GLPs, they sell everything above board. It's pharmaceutical, tadalafil, Cialis, Viagra, and clomiphene. The list goes on. And so if you want to be healthy, you want to get your blood work done, you want to do it with doctors, Algo RX.
Most guys that cut to this body fat naturally,
technically, it is natural. You can say that it's not really, it's just semantics. Who cares? Is it natural? Is it not natural? Whatever. But let me tell you this. Even if you do this with the help of tirzepatide and or Ozempic, your testosterone levels can still fall. You could still lack the energy and it can still be unhealthy. You shouldn't be trying to walk around with 5 or 6% body fat. Now, if you're doing it for a brief period of time, for a photo shoot, for a bodybuilding contest, that's okay. It's still going to be difficult, significantly easier with these peptides, but don't think it's healthy for the long term.
We're going to see if we can keep the T levels fairly high. Anything above 600 would be pretty crazy.
Honestly, this is lean enough to get up on stage and compete. It's probably below 7% body fat, approaching 6% body fat, depending on his legs. You can't judge someone's body fat by just showing their upper body. Now, the fact that he's only showing his upper body, it kind of lets me think that his legs are probably not as lean as upper body. You never know. But I do believe he's very lean and approaching contest condition. I mean, he literally has a Christmas tree. He's peeled. And so I literally wrote on his wall, time to enter a men's physique competition. Greg O'Gallagher wrote back, means a lot coming from Coach Greg. And I do in fact mean it. This is an amazing physique. As a natural, looking like this is stupendous. This is not average. This is not mid. This is elite. And so if you're thinking, oh, he isn't that great, he isn't that big, natural, looking like this. Yes, he's using terzipatide, but who the heck cares? I'd rather see him use that than use steroids. And so, to each his own. If you want to use these peptides to lose weight, in particular if you're actually obese, in particular if you're morbidly obese, I'm all for it. Many coaches are saying it's cheating, that you shouldn't do it. If this is cheating, I'd rather you all cheat on this than cheat by using performance-enhancing drugs, namely steroids, and so on. Do you know how many people would abuse recreational substances, or perhaps clenbuterol, Adderall, T3, T4, the list goes on, in order to have some form of an edge on trying to get lean? And are there no side effects with terzipatide and Ozempic? Of course there's side effects. It's not good for everyone. And obviously the lowest dose that makes you happy, Greg O'Gallagher is taking 2.5 milligrams a week. It's not a huge dose, and so he's trying to take the least dose possible that gives him the results that he needs.
There's so much garbage misinformation around this stuff that's completely not true. In the research, it doesn't show any dopamine dampening, and freeing up all that mental bandwidth, freeing up all that willpower allows you to win at life. Now you can put all that energy somewhere else, to your goals, to success, to quality relationships, and not all this stress about, oh, I'm going over my calories, I gotta lock in. I'm excited about this stuff. This stuff is very, very powerful.
You don't think that Greg O'Gallagher for years has suffered in silence, that he's hungry? He's known for doing intermittent fasting, for eating in a certain window, for avoiding foods at certain times, for doing everything to stay lean. And so just because somebody isn't obese doesn't mean they're not suffering, and doesn't mean they're not putting in the work. You could have two people, one is obese, one is lean. The person who's obese, you might think, well, clearly that person needs a GLP, but the person who's lean, they might need it more than the person who's obese. The only reason that person's lean is maybe they're forcing themselves to do 2 hours of cardio each and every day. Maybe the person who's lean is starving themselves, avoiding eating, hungry all the time, suffering from mental fog, loss of concentration, can't sleep, insomnia, feeling like garbage, lower levels of testosterone. That, in fact, may be you. And if I can't convince you to just eat more, to, in fact, go up to perhaps 12 to 15% body fat, something more realistic, then, well, perhaps a GLP is the answer. Remember, don't ask me. I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving you the news. You can go to Algorex. You can talk to them. You can talk to your own doctor. Just do what you need to make yourself happy, but please be safe. Now, of course, if you have low levels of testosterone, G-Test Platinum can, in fact, make a difference. Of course, you should be eating, you should be exercising and so on, but you can use supplements to help. Code Greg for 15% off. Somebody writes, fire up the laser eyes, coach. What? See, he at 8.5 to 9% body fat? No, he's sub 7. 9% body fat? Where's the fat that you're talking about? Bro has abs in his abs. He has a Christmas tree. He's starting to look like a smaller version of Sam Sulek. How do you mentally stay okay when being weaker when leaning out? O'Gallagher writes, focus on what you're gaining, not what you're losing, and focus on strength to weight, not absolute. This is great advice. This is something I would say. I've competed 59 times. Every time I dieted for a competition, I got weaker. It's just the name of the game. And so rather than focusing on the negative of how much weaker you're getting, focus on the positive. How much better are you looking? The cuts, the striations, use that for motivation. And rather than thinking about how much are you lifting, think about what is your relative strength. If you're 200 pounds and you can do 200 pounds 20 times on the bench press and you diet down to 180, can you still do 180 20 times on the bench press? Sure, you're weaker, but pound for pound, are you the same?
Epidemic pill that everyone's using to lose weight has been found to shred people's bones. I'm surprised at this pill that's created by Big Pharma, who really care about your health, by the way.
Correlation does not equal causality. Just because it's correlated that when you take Ozempic, your bones seem to be withering away, doesn't mean it's because of the Ozempic. Most people taking Ozempic are not doing their cardio, they're not lifting the weights, and they're not eating enough protein. And so it's not the Ozempic itself that's causing this. It's the fact that people take Ozempic in way too big of a dose. Most people are taking double the dose that they need, and they're not eating enough. You all know that there's a correlation between eating ice cream and drowning. Did you really think that ice cream eating causes drowning, or that more people consume ice cream in the summer, and so there's more often people in the summer who are going swimming? It's not the swimming causing the drowning, nor is it the Ozempic. It's the fact that you're an idiot and you're abusing Ozempic or terzipatide, and not eating enough and not working out. And so if you do use these medications, use it as an assistance, as an aid in your journey. Don't just take the medication and do nothing and eat nothing and think, oh, I'm going to lose a lot of weight. Sure, you're going to lose a lot of weight, and a lot of it's going to be muscle and some bone density. But if you do it the right way, the lowest dose that makes you happy, and you go to the gym and you lift weights and you do your cardio and you eat a healthy diet, it's going to make you better.
There's so much misinformation around GLPs like Ozempic, tirzepatide. All they are is they are a chain of amino acids that stimulate satiety hormone so you get full more easily. That's it. If you do too high of a dose too soon, you get GI side effects, but a correct low dose, you just bring your appetite down to where you want it to be. In the research, we are seeing overwhelmingly positive effects on metabolic health markers, cardiovascular, neuroprotective effects.
And so I like that he's saying Ozempic and tirzepatide. Notice he isn't saying Retta. Retta is not approved for human consumption. Essentially, if you're using Retta, you're a guinea pig. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm not saying that it won't perhaps in the future be acceptable to use. But right now, if you're using Retta, you're breaking the law. I know that you're saying, yeah, but this and yeah, but that. Well, some people don't want to break the law. Some people want to follow guidelines. And so if you're one of those people, you go to Algorex. And if you're not, that's okay. You do you.
The hardest thing to get someone to do is eat fewer calories. This is why 70% of people are overweight or obese.
Greg himself admits this. Listen, even though he's designed diet plans, that he's got a lot of discipline, he does everything that he should be doing in order to be at a healthy body weight for him, he still finds it hard. Tirzepatide, Ozempic, it can be that difference maker.
Fitness will never be the same because of GLPs.
The reason you're overweight, if you are in fact overweight, for almost all of you, it's because you're hungry. If you weren't hungry, would you really be eating that cake and ice cream until you're full? If you're not hungry, it's easy to put the fork down. It's easy not to eat. And for many people who are born with too much ghrelin, this is the hunger hormone, not enough leptin, this is what makes you less hungry, they've never felt what it's like to be normal. Some people, they eat halfway through their meal, they're full and they just stop. Other people, they're through 2 servings of food, 2 platefuls, and they're still hungry. They don't know what it's like. If they actually took this medication, the tirzepatide, the Ozempic, and they felt full like a normal human being, they could finally lose some weight. They could perhaps add years to their life. Now, the one problem I see, which I want to just hammer this home, most of you are taking too much Ozempic and too much tirzepatide. You shouldn't struggle to eat. You shouldn't feel sick. You shouldn't be nauseous. These are indications that you're overdoing it. To the same extent, if you're taking clenbuterol and you're shaking all the time, or if you're taking fat burners and you cannot sleep, you're taking performance-enhancing drugs and you don't feel well, you're overdosing. Don't overdose with the GLPs. You should barely even notice it. If you take the lowest dose that makes you happy, it's probably half of whatever dose you've been told to take. Now remember, I can't tell you to not listen to your doctor. I have to say to listen to your doctor, but ask your doctor, could I take half of what you recommend? Would that perhaps possibly still work? Could I take that for 3 weeks and see if I'm losing any weight? And if it's working, could I just continue that? Oftentimes, your practitioners, your doctors and so on are going to tell you to take X amount, and then after 4 weeks, you got to double it. And then after this more weeks, you got to double it yet again. Why would you double a dose that's already working? Are you with me? Do you get this? And so take a very low dose and weigh yourself, get your median weight each week. And if that weight is going down, do you really need to up the dose? Why would you up the dose if it's working? It makes no sense. And so if you notice, hey, I'm not losing any weight, or I've reached a plateau and I still need to lose more, up the dose. Now, do you need to up the dose? Let's say you're doing 2.5 milligrams a week like Greg O'Gallagher, and you hit a plateau. Let's say Greg is not satisfied at 168.5 pounds. He's hit a plateau and he wants to lose another, a couple pounds. Does he then up the dose to 5 and then continue on his way? Or could he perhaps up the dose to 3, to 3.5, 4? Why does everyone rush to double the dose? It makes no sense. Comparison, if you're on TRT, I was formerly taking 140 milligrams a week. I've lowered it to 60 milligrams just because. And you're not getting enough gains. You can't put on any more muscle. Do you have to then double the dose? And so, for example, if your doctor puts you on 60 milligrams and you're not getting the gains that you need, you don't feel well, do you need to double it to 120? Or could you go up from 60 to 80? 80 to 100. I don't understand why this is such a hard concept to grasp. I've coached so many people. I've taught people you don't need to double the dose, and they don't listen to me. And they experience difficulties, problems. Oftentimes, they'll quit using the product. Oh, Ozempic, it's horrible. All the reports, they're lying. They're saying it's a great drug. It's amazing. No, I took it and I felt sick. I was nauseated. I couldn't even eat. Does that sound like a person who took the medication or one who overdosed on it? And so if you take an appropriate dose, I believe this medication can do wonders. And don't forget, if you're not quite ready to use Ozempic or tirzepatide, why not start with GLP Max from HDLT Supplements? Reduce your cravings by 28%. That for many people can be enough. If you're trying to maximize your benefits, of course, you can combine it with Turk Builder Max as well as GO2 Max to give you that extra oomph in the gym. Train harder than last time, repair faster, build more muscle, and improve your cardio. If you combine all of these with a healthy diet, training harder than last time, you have no idea how good you can get. And so please use code Greg for 15% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algo for Algo RX. Use code Greg as well there. Click the link. Watch one of those two bloops. And if you're interested in being a sponsored athlete on the team, or if you want to get coached by myself or myself and my team, or if you want to carry any of the HDLT supplements in your stores and or gyms, click the link in the description. Head over to the website right now. And until next time, I am out.